everyone, and welcome to another podcast discussing about Sonic the Hedgehog. Just recently, a brand new trailer just came out. If you recall, 6 months ago, we talked about the first Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and this time around, we're going to be talking about the new one that just came out. The movie will still be coming out on February 2020, but we have a lot more positive things to say about it as opposed to last time. But I'm here once again with the guy behind the Guardian comic book series, Tom Carter. Welcome back, Tom.
Hiya.
All right. So, 6 months ago. Can you believe that that's when the trailer first came out?
Ooh, I try to forget that.
I don't blame you.
That first trailer was diabolical.
Yes, it was. It was... Oh, that trailer. You know, I know a lot of people have defended the trailer when it first came out, saying like, oh, but, you know, they're trying to make Sonic a little bit more realistic. But then after like a few weeks, they were like, yeah, this trailer sucks. Yeah, but this time around, I think that they did a much, much better job portraying Sonic the Hedgehog in a way that doesn't make us want to cringe and want to get a blowtorch to set it on fire.
Yeah, it feels just like basically they took the criticism and the thing I find quite funny about it is that no one's really taken responsibility who came up with that first design. I think it was more of a senses that it was more of a studio senses that design got greenlit. So yeah, this design's good, people are going to like it. And then I think the people who work on the film, the director, I cannot remember his name at the moment, but I know the producer, Tim Miller, did not like that original design to begin with in the first place. So they got someone in to redesign it, and the guy who they got in to redesign it is the guy who did Sonic Shorts or Sonic Mania.
Ah, okay, that explains a lot, that's for sure. Yeah, and here's the thing. Another thing that we complained about besides the look of Sonic was the music. We felt that Gangster's Paradise by Coolio didn't match it, like, whatsoever. I mean, when you think of Sonic the Hedgehog, you think of, you know, speed and going fast. Not about about somebody who's going through the hood. But they got two songs playing in this one. We have Supersonic by JJ Fad and Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. And yeah, those were a lot better choices, especially Supersonic by JJ Fad, because it's obviously, you know, supersonic.
Didn't I mention they should have used that song the last time when we talked about the first trailer?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually funny because I think that the whole Gangster's Paradise thing was very controversial. It's like, you know, why would you incorporate Sonic the Hedgehog, especially since it's going to be geared towards more children, to a song like Gangster's Paradise, which is more geared towards adults?
Yeah.
And I think that for the most part, everything looks like we already know based off of the plot. Like, you know, Sonic is coming from a different planet. He meets up with a cop. And, you know, he's being chased around by Dr. Robotnik because he wants to use him as an energy source. That part is still there. But I think that the jokes, they land themselves a little bit better. And also... you know, there are some cringeworthy jokes, I have to admit, but still, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as what happened before.
I think it's miles improved. I just got a feeling that they went back and basically tonally changed stuff they could have changed tonally, you know?
Right.
But the best way I can describe this is I remember when they announced Suicide Squad for DC and Warner Brothers, and at the time they wanted to keep it in the same sort of tone as Batman v Superman, and that film did not perform that well because no one liked the tonal mood of that film. And then, what was it, Guardian of the Galaxy came out, everyone liked the tone like that. They said, okay, let's try to be more like that, more bright and colourful and more upbeat. And I think this is what they did with Sonic.
Yeah, I think so. Now, whether the overall package will match what happens in the trailer is a completely different story.
Yeah, I think they are going to. I think it's going to be a bit better than how Suicide Squad turned out. In that sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
they actually pushed the date back. They actually pushed the date back actually to give them time to actually change stuff.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's actually kind of funny. I wonder if the studio behind the Sonic the Hedgehog movie did this on purpose to kind of like bring in the kind of hype, but then the massive disappointment is like, but people are still talking about it, so that means they actually care. That's the trailer that we had done already. Let's release that now so we can get people excited again.
So yeah, I've put my tinfoil hat on here. Conspiracy theory. A lot of people reckon they did this on purpose to try to create marketing hype behind this film. If that was the case, I don't think they're smart enough to do that, in my personal opinion. I don't know.
Oh, God.
But if they were smart enough to do that, good on them, because they've got everyone talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that they did have that second trailer, because, oh man, if it would have came out just the way it did, my goodness, that would have been like a box office failure.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I don't think that was the case with their marketing idea.
I don't think so either.
Because it seemed like they went way, way too much into panic mode after when that first trailer dropped.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think that was planned in that way. I can imagine they thought to themselves, okay, we're going to expect some sort of backlash on this, but not as much as we thought it's going to be, Yeah,
like, I'm glad that they were able to fix it pretty quickly. I mean, unlike, you remember the trailer from last year of Thundercats Roar, the reboot on Cartoon Network that made it look like it was kind of akin to Teen Titans Go, and everybody hated it so much that we haven't seen any updates of it ever since?
Yeah.
We could have gone into that direction, and maybe we would have had a different, project, or maybe it would have been canceled altogether because of that. It's like, you have to understand, especially if you are going to be releasing a trailer to something based off of a franchise that has become so beloved by people, is that you want to make a good first impression right away. If you're going to release something that is going to generate so much hate, then, especially since we're on the advent of the internet, you are going to, it's essentially like you're on a death list, for sure. And you're on a death list in which, like, people are going to absolutely hate you. They're going to, boycott this movie at all costs. They're going to, or maybe they might even do some reviews on it saying that this is terrible and you should never, ever, ever watch it. It'll probably go in the list of, like, some of the worst video game movies of all time, like with, Super Mario Brothers the movie, or Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or any of those movies. So, as for anything else, I mean, like I said before, some of the jokes are pretty funny. I did like that joke where, Sonic went over to the, the Rubber Ball Museum. There was, the jokes with... there was the jokes with Dr. Robotnik asking about if he wanted the latte. That was pretty hilarious because of Jim Carrey. I think that, also, the little callbacks of the original Sonic the Hedgehog, like, it literally starts off in Green Hill Zone, which I thought was awesome.
I was gobsmacked when I saw that. I went, oh my God, I know I said in the previous one, I said I'm so sick of seeing Green Hill Zone. But when I saw it in the trailer, I'm like, oh my goodness, Green Hill Zone. It looks beautiful.
I think that maybe because, we didn't want to see the traditional conventions, because we wanted to see people push the boundaries of Sonic the Hedgehog, saying, like, we want to see something different. We got something different, and it was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
But still, I'm just, let's see if I can think of anything else. Like I mentioned before, the music, choices were a lot better. They were a lot more livelier, and they do kind of carry the they carry the theme of Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, like, I'm serious, like, Blitzkrieg Bob, I hear that in almost, like, every kid's movie over the past 15, 20 years. It's like a staple in, like, kids movies for some reason. I have no idea why. It's definitely akin to, Sonic coming from a different dimension or a different planet. It feels very similar to, like, the original Sonic the Hedgehog movie where he was, like, from the planet Morbius, and Sonic X where he was from the different dimension and he came into Earth. So maybe they're kind of, like, pulling off ideas based off of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to to a lot of past Sonic medias, like again, Green Hill Zone is the obvious big one. Sonic going to the human world, that's definitely from Sonic X. There's also a great bit on when Sonic's playing ping pong.
Yeah.
On the in his like little Sonic hole is what I'm going to call it.
Sure.
If you look at the table he's using, it says Hilltop Road. That's obviously a reference to Hilltop Zone, I would say personally.
Yeah.
Sonic running inside the tumble dryer, I don't think it is a reference, but if you want to drag that out, there's two references you pull from that. That's one being originally from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic gives a PSA warning about don't play inside tumble dryers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And in the UK comic, originally how Sonic got his powers was running on like a treadmill that looked like a giant washing machine. A little one as well, which I love, is when Sonic playing baseball. That's an obvious reference from the Sonic episode when they do play baseball together.
Yeah.
The other two that really stood out for me, the bit when they sort of paying homage to Bruce Lee and the Karate Kid when Sonic's playing with nunchucks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the bandana on his head, if you look at the emblem on top of the bandana, it's the classic emblem that Sonic normally jumps out of.
That's
in
right.
Sonic 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, again, there's so many now thinking about it. Like when Sonic blows up the truck and he said, "How are you still alive?" And then Sonic, "I have no idea." Sonic do a little dance. That's kind of like one of his victory poses as well.
Yeah, from...
And the bit when they're in the hotel room, we see Sonic running around. They got multiple versions of him.
Mm-hmm.
If you look up on top of the lampshade, on top of the light, Sonic's wearing a lampshade in his head. The way he's like balancing on that is the same animation style as if you played the original Sonic games. If you get to the very edge of a platform, Sonic starts doing like a weird animation, like he's leaning on the edge of the platform.
Yeah, I remember.
That's the exact same animation.
Yes. So yeah, they were able, for any Sonic fan, they were able to get a lot of references from that.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I think that, I'm still gonna, I think that we both said this, that we both think that Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik is going to be the highlight of the movie.
Oh, God, yeah.
And, the whole theory still stands as what we've seen in pictures that, Dr. Robotnik looks normal, but as time goes on, he'll develop the classic look where he loses his hair and starts, growing his beard out and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think that that's going to progress throughout the movie. We did make the theory on that. And, as for, any other hints to anything, I haven't seen any references to, the Chaos Emeralds or any of the other characters. I guess it makes a lot of sense because... oh, bless you. I guess it does make a lot of sense because Tails doesn't show up until Sonic 2, and there's no Super Sonic in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, even if you collected the Chaos Emerald, so that didn't really matter. So, I think that the normal conventions of what we expect to see in a Sonic the Hedgehog property, I don't think will happen if they ever do make a sequel, and it depends on if the movie's even any good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously going to be the case because mostly in the trailers you see Eggman wearing the black uniform with a little bit of red on it. But I think time is going to go on. He's going to get more of the classic iconic red suit. And if you look at the newest poster they released, it got Sonic, it got Jim Carrey behind him. The jacket he's wearing is very, very strikingly similar to the one from modern Eggman's look.
Yes.
And I think what's going to happen basically is as time go on, and basically you're going to see that develop over time. I know a little Easter egg which I thought was kind of cool. Well, it's not a Sonic reference, but I thought it was kind of cool. In the trailer, you see Sonic reads a bunch of comic books, and the comic books he's reading are all Flash comics.
Yeah, that is very clever.
And I was like, yeah, Flash is known as the fastest man alive. If someone got super speed, going to read someone about speed, it's going to be the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that, looking at the comics, they're definitely the classic comics, so it's more like Barry Allen as opposed to Wally West.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic, the original runs. If you go back and watch that thing and pause it, is the classic old-style vintage comic, Flash comic. So I'm just thinking to myself, I was like, right, so Sonic's basically been going around Earth and basically been stealing a load of people's stuff and been hiding it in a little cave. So he's been playing with everything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he is coming from a different planet, so seeing all these earthly things is like, ooh, I want to know what this is. Like, it's like your typical alien, enters into Earth story, so that's to be expected. I don't think there's really much to say about the trailer other than I'm just so happy to see a much more positive reaction from people, and also that it's actually getting me excited to see the movie again.
Oh, it is. Same here. I really want to go and see the film now, and also I really want those Puma's Sonic sneakers as well. Yeah, they do look really awesome for sure. Yeah.
I know it's going to be like really expensive, but I am curious to see how those turn out. And I'm sure that when your wife saw it, I'm sure that she wasn't like cringing at the trailer saying that, why does Sonic look like a kid in a costume?
She did say that first time round.
Yes, you did. I saw your reaction video.
And the second time she was like, oh yeah, much better. And I said, and then she said, I'm starting to believe those conspiracy theory people saying that they had this on the back burner. I'm like, okay.
I mean, yeah. Like we mentioned before, I mean, people do believe in that, even though we don't personally, because, I mean, you would have to be desperate to do that, but still, I mean, like I always say, you do you. If you believe in that, that's fine. But yeah I think that once again, the movie will be coming out next year, and I'd like to have you back on so we can talk about this movie and see how well or how terrible it turns out.
Yeah, it's going to be one of these things. It's like, if it's semi decent, and I'm not expecting like a critically acclaimed film. I just want a fun, entertaining popcorn flick. If it delivers that, at least, I'd be more than happy with the film,
Yeah, and this will be actually a really interesting direction on where video game movies go, because we saw the huge success that Detective Pikachu did with bringing in a lot of money and generating a lot of buzz towards the franchise and making it kind of popular again, similar to what Pokemon Go did. And who knows, maybe this will, bring in a whole new resurgence of Sonic again. And if this is the case, then maybe we'll be seeing a lot more live action video game movies that don't suck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Recently, we've had a lot of success when it comes to like video game adaptations on Netflix. We have the Castlevania series, Carmen Sandiego, and Sonic Boom is still doing amazingly well on Cartoon Network. So I mean, if the Sonic the Hedgehog movie does well, and I know that Illumination's working on the Mario movie from the last time that we heard anything. So I mean, this will be interesting about like which one of them does the best, or the Sega Sonic movie or the Nintendo Mario movie. I mean, this will be interesting.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is Sonic's first outing for a feature film, and the Mario one is going to be their second outing, so...
I mean, I guess people sometimes count the OVA as well.
Yeah, they do, yeah. I will count the OVA. It's difficult with OVAs, but, I'm going to be interested. Originally I was like, oh God, I am so hesitant to see this film now, and now I saw this, I'm like, yep, I am ready to see this film now. It's done a whole 180 with me. I really want to go and see the film now.
Yes, for sure. All right, then. So that should be the end of this discussion. So, Tom, please plug and promote your stuff.
My name's Tom Carter. I am a comic book writer. I create a comic book called Guardian. You can check it out on my social media page, which is Guardian Comic Book on Facebook. You can also follow me on Twitter at TomCarter1989, where I basically just make update about random stuff and also stuff related to my comic book. And also, I'm going to be attending my first ever comic convention to sell my comic book, which is going to be at London Comic Con Spring in London, UK, from February the 29th of February to the 1st of March.
All right. Well, that sounds amazing. So for anybody who is going over to London Comic Con next year, then, go check out Tom's venue and, purchase his comic and say hi to me. Say hi for me. All right, then. So, yeah, I think the next time that we'll be discussing about Sonic the Hedgehog is when the movie comes out. If you are interested, for those who are listening, we have done a podcast discussing about the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer, and we've done a whole bunch of other podcasts on Sonic the Hedgehog. We talked about the franchise, we've talked about, the legacy of Sonic the Hedgehog when it celebrated its 25th anniversary. So, yeah, we got a lot of Sonic stuff in this channel. So, until then, hope to see you around soon, and thank you for listening.